Imagine this. You're always the first to help, the first to apologize, the first to sacrifice your own needs for others. You think it makes you good, valuable, loved. But deep down, you feel unseen, unheard, and exhausted. Why? Because being nice is not the same as being strong. And strength, my friends, is what Stoicism demands. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The approval of others is a worthless pursuit." Yet how often do we find ourselves bending, twisting, and reshaping who we are just to fit into the expectations of others? How many times have we swallowed our words, silenced our thoughts, or nodded along just to avoid conflict? The truth is, many of us, especially women, have been conditioned to believe that our worth is tied to how well we accommodate others. We have been taught that being agreeable, pleasant, and self-sacrificing is the highest form of goodness. But this is a lie. Stoicism teaches us that our primary duty in life is not to be liked, but to live with virtue. And virtue does not require constant agreement, passive submission, or the need to be validated by others. In fact, seeking approval is a prison, and those who live for the acceptance of others will always be at their mercy. If your happiness depends on external validation, then you are no longer the master of your own fate. You have handed the keys of your peace to others, letting them decide your worth. A Stoic woman does not live for the fleeting smiles and nods of the crowd. She does not lower her voice just to make others comfortable. She does not say yes out of obligation when her soul screams no. She understands that her integrity is worth more than approval. She does not betray her own values just to maintain harmony, but the fear of rejection runs deep. We are social beings, and the thought of being disliked, of standing alone, can be terrifying. Yet, one must ask, what is more painful, the discomfort of disappointing others or the slow erosion of your true self? Every time you say what you don't mean, every time you suppress your thoughts to fit in, you chip away at your own authenticity. And for what? The temporary acceptance of people who may not even see you for who you really are? Epictetus reminds us, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. In other words, if you truly wish to grow, you must let go of the need to be understood by everyone. You must accept that some will disagree with you, some will misunderstand you, and some may even dislike you. But none of that matters if you are standing firm in truth. The greatest minds in history, the ones who changed the world, were rarely the ones who sought approval. They were the ones who challenged norms, who spoke up, who refused to conform simply to keep the peace. There is a false belief that rejecting people-pleasing means becoming cold or uncaring. This is not true. Stoicism does not teach us to be cruel or indifferent. It teaches us to be principled, to live by values, not by the shifting opinions of others, to treat people with respect, but not at the cost of self-respect, to extend kindness, but not to become a martyr for someone else's comfort. If you wish to live a life of meaning, stop fearing disapproval. Let people misunderstand you. Let them be disappointed. Let them think what they will, because their opinions do not define you. Your actions, your character, and your courage do. Stop making yourself small so others feel big. Stop seeking permission to be yourself. You were not put on this earth to be a mirror reflecting the desires of others. You were meant to stand in your own light, unwavering, unshaken, and unapologetically yourself. Kindness is often seen as one of the highest virtues, a mark of a good and noble person. But without boundaries, kindness ceases to be a strength and instead becomes a weakness. A woman who gives endlessly, who sacrifices her own needs without question, who never says no for fear of hurting others. This is not kindness. This is self-neglect. And self-neglect is not a virtue. Seneca once wrote, "He who is everywhere is nowhere." This applies to kindness as well. If your energy is scattered, given freely to all without discretion, it will eventually deplete you. You will find yourself exhausted, drained, and resentful. True kindness is measured, intentional, and firm. It is given where it is deserved, not where it is demanded. If someone expects your kindness but does not respect you, they are not entitled to your generosity. There is a crucial difference between being kind and being a people-pleaser. Kindness with boundaries comes from strength. It is a conscious choice. People-pleasing, on the other hand, is rooted in fear. The fear of rejection, the fear of conflict, the fear of being disliked. But a Stoic woman does not fear these things, because she understands that her worth is not dependent on external approval. Epictetus taught that no man is free who is not master of himself. If you cannot say no without guilt, if you cannot refuse without anxiety, then you are not free. You are enslaved by the expectations of others. You must learn that it is not cruel to set limits, it is necessary. Just as a river needs banks to flow with direction, kindness needs boundaries to have true meaning. Being endlessly nice may win you temporary approval, but it will also attract those who wish to take advantage of you. The world does not reward those who exhaust themselves for the sake of others. It respects those who stand firm in their values. A woman who knows when to say no, who does not allow herself to be drained, who chooses where to place her kindness wisely. This is a woman who commands respect, not just affection. Kindness is powerful, but only when it is given with strength, not submission. Protect your energy. Guard your time. Give freely, but not endlessly. Because true kindness is not about being agreeable, it is about being wise. Niceness is often praised as a virtue, especially for women. From a young age, many are taught to be agreeable, accommodating, and pleasant, to smile, to avoid confrontation, to put others' needs before their own. But Stoicism teaches us a different lesson. Strength is far more valuable than niceness. Being nice may make you likable, but being strong makes you unshakable. Epictetus reminds us, no man is free who is not master of himself. A person who prioritizes being nice above all else is not in control of their own life. They are controlled by the opinions and expectations of others. They say yes when they mean no. They endure mistreatment because they don't want to be seen as rude. They remain silent when they should speak up. But what does this achieve? Nothing but frustration, exhaustion, and a slow erosion of self-respect. Strength is the ability to stand firm in your values even when it is uncomfortable. It means choosing what is right over what is easy. It means having the courage to set boundaries, speak truthfully, and walk away when necessary. Niceness on its own often leads to compromise of principles, of identity, of personal well-being. Strength, however, ensures that kindness is given without self-betrayal. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." The same applies here. Don't waste time trying to be nice in a way that pleases everyone. Be strong, because true goodness does not come from pleasing people. It comes from living with integrity. Strength does not mean being cruel or harsh. It means being unwavering. It means knowing who you are and refusing to be shaped by external pressures. The world may reward niceness in small ways, but it respects strength. A strong woman is not walked over. She is not taken for granted. She does not lose herself in the pursuit of approval. She stands tall, knowing that her worth is not defined by how comfortable she makes others feel. So ask yourself, would you rather be liked for being nice or respected for being strong? Stoicism teaches us that the choice is clear. Strength will take you where niceness never can. Emotions are powerful, but they are not meant to be our masters. In a world that encourages us to follow our hearts and trust our feelings, Stoicism offers a different, more disciplined approach. Govern your emotions, or they will govern you. A life ruled by unchecked emotions is a life of instability, impulsivity, and regret. To be truly free, you must learn to control your reactions, not be controlled by them. Epictetus taught, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This is the essence of Stoic wisdom. You cannot control external events, nor can you control the behavior of others, but you can always control yourself. Yet how often do we allow emotions, anger, fear, sadness, or anxiety to dictate our actions? A sharp comment from a friend ruins our day. A small rejection makes us question our worth. A moment of frustration leads us to say something we regret. These are the consequences of letting emotions rule over reason. Being overly emotional does not make you more genuine or authentic. It makes you vulnerable to manipulation. People who lack emotional discipline are easy to provoke, easy to sway, and easy to break. A Stoic woman, however, does not let fleeting feelings dictate her choices. She acknowledges her emotions, but she does not become a slave to them. She understands that feelings are visitors, not rulers. They come and go, but they do not define her. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, wrote in Meditations, You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. This is the key to emotional mastery. It is not about suppressing emotions, but about observing them with clarity and choosing how to respond. It means taking a step back when anger rises, breathing deeply when anxiety creeps in, and making decisions based on wisdom, not momentary impulses. Strength is not found in emotional outbursts or dramatic reactions. Strength is found in calmness, in restraint, in the ability to remain steady when the world is chaotic. A Stoic does not avoid emotions, but refuses to be ruled by them. Master yourself, and you will master your life. Living for the approval of others is one of the greatest traps a person can fall into. It is a prison that keeps you from fully realizing your potential, from speaking your truth, and from living life on your own terms. Stoicism teaches us that the opinions of others are beyond our control, and therefore they should not dictate how we live. If you spend your life chasing approval, you will never be free. You will always be at the mercy of what others think. Epictetus reminds us, if you wish to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. Why? Because the moment you stop conforming to what others expect, some will misunderstand you, some will criticize you, some may even reject you. But that is the cost of authenticity. If you are constantly seeking validation, you are allowing the world to shape you instead of shaping yourself. And a person who is shaped by the world is not truly living, they are merely performing. And a person who is shaped by the world is not living authentically, they are living impersonally. A person who is living by the world is not living authentically, they are living. When you live for approval, you become afraid to take risks, afraid to make bold choices, afraid to stand alone. You hesitate to speak your mind, fearing judgment. You hold yourself back from pursuing your true desires because you are worried about how others will perceive you. But ask yourself, whose life are you living? Theirs or yours? Marcus Aurelius wrote, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own." This contradiction is the heart of the approval trap. We place higher value on external validation than on our own self-respect. True freedom comes when you stop looking outward for affirmation and start looking inward for purpose. When you realize that the approval of others adds nothing to your worth, you become untouchable. A Stoic does not act based on how they will be perceived. They act based on what is right, what is just, and what aligns with their principles. Approval is a prison, but the key to escape has always been in your hands. Let go of the need to be liked and focus on being strong, wise, and true to yourself. The right people will respect you, and the wrong ones will fade away. Either way, you remain unshaken. Being good is often mistaken for being soft, agreeable, or easy to manipulate. But true goodness, the kind that Stoicism teaches, is not weak. It is firm, principled, and unshakable. A good person is not one who bends to every demand, who avoids confrontation at all costs, or who sacrifices themselves just to maintain peace. A good person is one who stands strong in their values, who acts with wisdom and integrity, and who does not allow external forces to dictate their character. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Just that you do the right thing, the rest doesn't matter." This is the essence of being good, but unshakable. Many people believe that to be good they must always be accommodating, always agreeable, and always putting others first. But goodness without strength is easily taken advantage of. If your kindness has no boundaries, people will use it. If your generosity has no limits, people will drain you. And if your goodness is dependent on the approval of others, it is not true goodness. It is just a mask worn to gain validation. A Stoic understands that being good does not mean being a doormat. It means being just, fair, and compassionate, but never at the cost of self-respect. Epictetus taught that you may fetter my leg, but my will not even Zeus himself can overpower. This is the mindset of a person who is unshakable, someone who, no matter what happens around them, remains true to themselves. They do not allow insults to wound them. They do not change their principles based on public opinion. They do not act differently just to be liked. They do what is right because it is right, not because it is easy. Too many people mistake flexibility for virtue. They believe that saying yes to everything makes them kind. They think avoiding conflict makes them peaceful. They assume that always putting others first makes them noble. But in reality, Virtue requires strength. It takes strength to say no when something goes against your values. It takes strength to walk away from toxic relationships. It takes strength to hold your ground when the world pressures you to conform. Strength and goodness must go hand in hand. Strength without goodness becomes cruelty. Goodness without strength becomes weakness. But together they create something powerful. An individual who is kind yet firm, compassionate yet resolute, generous yet wise. This is the balance that Stoicism teaches. The world does not reward those who are merely good. It rewards those who are good and unshakable. The ones who are unwavering in their purpose, who do not crumble in the face of adversity, who do not let the opinions of others dictate their actions. These are the people who command respect. So, be good, but do not let the world mold you into something weak. Be kind, but do not allow yourself to be used. Be compassionate, but do not sacrifice your dignity. Let your goodness be a reflection of your inner strength, and let your strength be guided by your goodness. That is how you truly live with virtue.